Hello, it's Ryan again. You've completed a sprint with Mia. Now it's time to access our reports and see how we did. JIRA's built-in reporting makes gauging the team's progress pretty simple. Reports represent our team's past, how we've done to date, the present, how we did during the current sprint, and also the future, how we can perform better in future sprints. Using reports, we'll discover a whole lot. How effective our team was at managing workflows and issues, how our estimates compare to our actuals for each issue, where our bottlenecks occurred, and more. The team has access to this up-to-date information at any time. In this tutorial, we'll focus on 3 of the most frequently used reports: the Burndown Chart, the Velocity Report, and the Sprint Report. We also see how to access and interpret each. Let's get started. Reporting tools are project-specific. By default, data acquired during an active sprint automatically feeds into the reports. If you're maintaining your board, updating and transitioning issues in real time, you're automatically maintaining your reports. Let's look at the 3 most popular reports next. Find reporting tools in the Reports area of the project board. To access them, click on the bar graph icon. Your page may default to a specific report. Click the Switch Report link to navigate to a different one. Many Agile teams find that the most useful report is the Burndown Chart. A Burndown chart is a graphical representation of the work left to be done versus the time remaining in the active sprint. It illustrates work completed and work remaining to be done. The Burndown chart gives everyone involved, customers, managers, and team members, a clear sense of the progress of the report. Here's a typical Burndown chart for a team in the middle of a sprint. The working days left in the sprint are shown across the bottom, and the gray line represents the average number of story points that need to be covered each day to complete all the issues in the sprint. The red line shows how many story points have been closed and how many remain open. The goal, of course, is to get the red line to 0 by the close of the sprint. The Burndown chart's also included in the sprint report. We'll discuss the sprint report a bit later. Next is the velocity chart. Velocity is a key term for Agile teams. It expresses the value a team delivers during an active sprint. We determine value by comparing committed work to completed work. To sum it up, the velocity report shows how close the team is getting to their estimates. Scrum Masters and other team members of the team typically use this report during sprint planning meetings to help them decide how much work the team can feasibly commit to within the timeline of the sprint. Teams try to match their completion rate to their commitments. By looking at how close our team hit their estimated goals, we're better able to plan for future sprints. This chart may not be so useful when there's only one sprint under your belt, but the chart becomes increasingly more valuable as sprints become more regular and the team's estimation becomes more precise. The final report that we'll go over together is the sprint report, which is available during and after the sprint. The sprint report lists which issues are complete and which are still outstanding. The sprint report also shows items that were added to the sprint late, thus changing the sprint scope. These reports are useful for mid-sprint check-ins as well as retrospective meetings. To run any JIRA software report, go to your board. Click the reporting icon at the left of the screen. Doing so takes you to the reporting screen. Once there, use the drop-down menu to select the report you'd like to view. All reports show information relating to the most recent sprint. You can view past sprints by clicking on the sprint name and selecting the one you'd like to view. If you don't see a particular report in the main drop-down menu, select All Reports, and you'll be taken to the reporting main screen where you can select from all the available reports that JIRA software offers.
Before we leave reports, I want to quickly mention 2 additional ones. The Epic Burndown, which illustrates how the team is progressing or completing an entire epic, and the cumulative flow diagram, which can help the team identify bottlenecks within the development cycle. You can use the Epic Burndown to see how quickly your team is working through an epic, as well as to predict how many sprints it will take to complete the epic. The cumulative flow diagram is your way to see how issues are moving through the workflow over time. The colored areas represent the columns on a board. For this example, there are 3 bands, each representing one of the board columns: to do, in progress, and done. The width of the bands represents the number of issues in a column at a particular time. If the band is getting wider over time, it's an indication that the issues are backing up in a corresponding column.
Take some time to apply what you've learned in your own project.